what would that look like, and how would that feel? If we all knew that we had solid assets, artwork in our little community, what would that look like? And what would it look like if there were those of us who were bringing in people from outside who were challenged to help them to become the people they were meant to be? What if the Hope Institute is what we would call this, of course? What if the Hope Institute was bringing in young people who were challenged and teaching them how to be plumbers and carpenters and roofers and artists and teachers and charter boat captains and architects and builders, and sending them out into the world with a different view of life, with a different look at things than corrupt politicians might have, with a different view of how it is to live with pure love in your heart, because that's what the Hope Institute would be about. That's what this town would be about. What would it look like to you? And would you seriously consider such a thing? Could that be in your realm of thinking that you would consider coming into such a fold in such a loving and caring place? It is my belief that this place would not have a preconceived notion of spirituality or religion, for that would only create seeds of hate. But it would be a place of spiritual enlightenment. It would not be a place where we would hold certain political beliefs, because that would just create hate as well. It would be a place where we live and create ideas. It would be a place where we cherish each other's lives. It would be a place where we would come back to a moral base of family, love, and caring, where we would help each other to overcome our issues and the things that we're thinking about with love, openness, and essence.
If you didn't
with honesty in our hearts,
say you were attending the meeting and it would not open.
Do you think that perhaps
Really?
start a grassroots revolution?
That's not good.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris is being stupid again. He's trying to get your link, and it's like, can't you?
Doing such
Let me go find him.
I sure can.
Can Chris not get in?
My family about such a thing, because I've talked to them.
No, because he didn't read his email, and he didn't join the meetup, and he didn't do the things he was supposed to do. So he needs a direct link, and he's dinging me through Messenger.
Vastly about it.
All right.
That we could create such a thing. We wouldn't need more than maybe 100 acres, right?
Like, if people can't master some of this simple technology, I'm gonna lose my patience with something.
I know it.
We could do our horticulture, our aquaculture.
I can email you. I'm going to email it to you.
We could teach our
I can email it to him.
plumbing.
Well, forget the email. You already emailed him. He needs it in Messenger. Just copy the link and stick it in Messenger.
For the core group to live and to prosper and to teach others and send them out into the world to do the same thing again based on that model. What would that look like, and how would we do it? Well, I'm going to challenge you now, because this is something that I've been thinking about for a very long time, and it is something that I feel like it's time for us to do. I'm in the process of trying to establish a nonprofit.
Get rid of that little video I was running. Could you see that video that was running?
Yeah, I could hear it too. And usually you can't through Zoom, so I was impressed.
All right, so let me see what I can do with Chris here.
The only reason he even paid attention was because I put the meetup link in the Facebook Messenger, and he saw it. And I'm like, yeah, you're not looking at your email, are you? See, nobody's looking at their damn email anymore.
Yeah, that could be the detriment of what we do here, I guess, but unless people really get fired up about it and want to make sure they're here, I guess.
Well, that's the point. You know, we're not going to keep holding everybody's hands. They got to either come along, keep up with what the hell we're doing, or I ain't got time. Neither do you.
No, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I do.
Just saying.
No, I hear you. I'm with you on that. Ah, shoot. I forgot my damn login to Facebook all of a sudden. What's up that?
Well, let me go. I can probably find the link and share it. I can do that.
I don't see where anybody else is joining us yet.
Yeah, I know. Yesterday, Darlene was all fired up. Today, she's probably got an emergency of some sort. That's typically what happens.
I'm with you.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I'm with you on this whole thing. We're either going to get people that want to do this or we're going to find others who do, because I know they're out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just not playing this dang game anymore. Let me see. I got your link, so I'm going into Messenger here to give it to Chris.
Right.
It's like, oh, for God's sake.
I'm going to call Darlene.
Really? You are a brave soul.
I love Darlene. No, I love her.
I do too, and I told her that the other day, but I'm not putting up with her crap. I'm just not. Oh, somebody else was trying to log in. See? All right. Well, I just put the link in the community collaborative group so people can use it. We'll see who shows up.
Hello?
Hey, sis, this is Rick.
Yeah.
You coming on our call this morning?
Well, I was trying to do, my computer's not operating, not functioning. It keeps telling me that it's not loading. So anyway, I was trying.
All right.
I'll
Well,
keep trying.
all right. Love you.
Oh, I love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, she told me she loved me, so.
See? Yeah, well, there you go. But see, that's what happened. Every time she says she's going to do something.
I just lost you in. Oh, this is going to be a grand meeting this morning.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Melanie, you coming on this morning?
I am. I need about 2 more minutes.
All right, we're standing by for you.
I'll be there in just a second.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Melanie will be here in a minute.
Well, and I'm shutting off my video because my internet's already dumping out on me. So if I
There's
disappear
Chris.
for a while, it's because I had to hike to the end of the property.
What's going on, old man?
How you doing? I made it in.
I'm happy for you. You look good. Sitting up there in your recliner.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to go finish a punch out list on a house.
I was talking about you the other day.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, in a good way, brother. In a good way. In a good way. We got Melanie. We're waiting for Melanie to come on. I want her to be on here for our call today for sure. If we can get her on here, she said she needs a couple more minutes to get in. I invited a shitload of people that I'm hoping are going to continue to be focused here.
Right.
And so the core group of the collaborative movement here, I think, are going to be the ones that are going to make this thing happen.
Well, they either need to be showing up on a regular basis and keeping track of what we're doing, or we need to move on. It's that simple. It's
Yeah.
time. We don't have any more time to waste.
No, I know that I missed a couple of meetings here, and when I seen that text, I was like, man, I bet that's directed to me. I was like,
Ah, no. Last week it was just me and Rick, so it wasn't just you. It was a general statement.
okay, tell you what, my past 10 have been unbelievable. So, but that it's all. I'm moving forward, and that it didn't stop me. It's just it was unbelievable the things I went through on a daily basis. And everything would be going great, and just like getting slapped dead in the face with a wall. But being able to realize I was in shape enough to climb over it and overcome it and keep on moving. So I've had a heck of an obstacle course this week.
Hey, Melanie,
Hey, how are you?
I'm so glad you're here. You don't know how glad I am you're here.
Yeah, it was hard the last 2 weeks, but I'm back.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel your pain. I'm really sorry to hear. I won't share anything, but I understand. And it had to be really difficult. Yeah, I like your hair. I really do.
Thank you. It's gone. It's
It looks really, really cool.
very easy.
More and more women seem to be getting rid of their hair.
Y'all guys have no idea how awesome y'all have it to have short hair. It's wonderful.
Karen got hers. Karen, my wife, she had heart problems since she was a kid. She didn't know it, and her hair never would grow, right? It would get to a certain, and it wouldn't grow anymore hardly.
Wow.
She went in for heart surgery in 2013. They replaced her aorta, her aortic valve, plugged up a couple holes that had been in her heart since she was born, and all of a sudden her hair started growing.
Huh.
No
Wow.
kidding. I'm honest to God. And so now her hair just grows like crazy. And so she's loving it. So her
Good.
hair will grow down to her shoulders and she'll be, look at my hair. Don't you think I need to get cut? I'm like, no, honey, let it go. Let it go. So she looks like old hippie gal now. She's old flower child anyway.
Cool.
And
Cool.
but she got a perm last week. And she's all proud of herself about that.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to find Seth on here. I seem to have lost his thing. So there's a couple people that are still trying to get on here, but we've been starting to give people a little bit of a hard time about not showing up and stuff. So that I think we're going to get a little bit of turnaround here. I invited 7 or 8, 9 people on here today. And so far we've got 4.
More than half.
It's
Awesome.
okay. It's okay because she and I are been having some really serious discussions over the last few days, and there's going to be a whole lot of things going on in the next few days that are going to be rocking our world, I think. So,
Cool.
Who's reconnecting? That's you. That's Melanie. Okay. It says doesn't have your name up here. It just says reconnecting.
Oh, that's my son. He got in and named me Reconnecting. I found that out in a Zoom meeting earlier.
How cool is that?
I don't know how to change it.
All right, you're so beautiful, reconnecting. Beautiful reconnecting.
Gotta love kids.
All right, I can't find, where did I do Seth's number? It's supposed to be here. Here he is. Hold on.
You got
Seth,
him?
where you at, man? Is Kim it's in surgery? Hey, buddy, how you doing? Hi.
Kim had surgery this week. Kim had surgery this week, so I don't know. I know she's home. I know that she's been in quite a bit of pain, and I don't know, how coherent she is quite yet.
Okay, I think Seth is probably passed out too, maybe. I don't know. He may be asleep still. All right, well,
I don't know. I'll send him a text. Did you send him a text?
yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent her a text. Well, I just said, where you at?
Okay. All right. That's good.
So I see you had a nice trip through the mountains.
What?
Yeah,
what?
it was beautiful in the mountains last weekend. We enjoyed it very much.
That's awesome.
All right, so go ahead.
And I finally got to meet Kim Martin and Dr. Maxwell. That was very amazing too on Monday.
Oh yeah, no, I know all about that.
I bet you do. I
I'm glad
bet
that
you
did.
do.
I'm glad that you did. So you back home now?
Well, we're in North Carolina, but only for 2 weeks. On the 18th, we head up to Virginia for a couple of months.
Okay. Nice.
All right, let's get this party started. I do have a little agenda. I want to start following a little bit of an agenda, if you don't mind. We can change it during the meeting when people come up with consensus if you want to. So real quick, I want to go through some updates with people that are here. That'll be the first part of our agenda. If you guys agree that we can do that going forward, each one of us will take a couple of minutes and just give an update on what our week has been like, what our updates are with our projects that we're working on. And we can start with Chris. Chris, what was your week like last week? What's going on with you, man, in terms of your homes for people?
Okay. My week is, I mean, there is so much that went on in my week. It's unreal. Now, I have some groups here in Bloomington that are interested in this little 2.5 acre piece of property right in the middle of town for me to do a veterans community there.
Nice.
And I think they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger and buy this property and get this thing moving forward. Their question to me last night was, is it zoned already for this? And I said it is. They've already set it up for 50-foot lots. And so I don't have to change anything to make this work out. But there's also another property. It's basically the same size. It's 2 blocks down the road, and we can do the same thing there. We got the grocery store. I went the other day and somebody had knocked down the fence that we have around the construction site. And I was sitting there trying to repair it, and a lady came from across the street, and she said that she bought the house across the street to do a daycare to help with parents that need to be able to work, and doesn't matter if they pay or not, right? So,
but the video's on.
My
Hey,
video.
Chris.
Hello.
I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna mute.
Sheehan's having some difficulty with her technologies. Go ahead, Chris. She's still there.
Oh, that's fine. And she wound up doing 5 videos with me. And one lady took a picture and they posted it. And like I said, it's been amazing to see the response of people to actually be paying attention to someone else talking besides me.
Yeah.
And I got a shopping app It is something that, all right, does anyone on the call have a Sam's Club card?
No.
All right. A lot of people pay for these memberships to like go to that store and get savings or buy bulk in bulk. A $25 annual fee one time a year. You get cash back for every dollar you spend everywhere you spend it, in person or online.
What's the name of the app?
Dynamic Script. And I've got an app. It has the Hope logo and everything on it, but it is set up for it's Walmart. It's all of them. It's anything and everything everywhere. It's local shops. Now, what this is it's a way for every one of our charities to start getting revenue, and it is to support 1.8 million charities and with sustainable income, because they figured out a way to tap into the $600 billion retail business.
Okay.
And it's a great thing. It's wonderful. And I will be able to sign your charities up for free to start being able to receive money. The only thing we have to do is introduce this product. Now, you go into businesses that have, say they got 6 employees, and you tell them, you say, are you going to give them a Christmas bonus this year? Well, if you give them a $25 Christmas bonus right now that pays them back for every dollar that they spend, that they earn from you, they'll get some of it back at the end of the month, but they can also make a donation to a charity. And wouldn't you be interested in that?
Yeah.
So now we have a way, and right now it's Christmas time, so it's time for Christmas bonuses. But the goal is here is to go introduce this to everywhere and get them all to do it. But we also can hit individual people, because all you got to do is pay the $25. It's a one-time thing. You get a card and you get your app, and you do it. You go through. I can send the link to everybody to go on and pay the $25 and get your card and the link. But what that thing
I'll
does,
type it right here, Chris, is Dynamic Script.
yeah.
And what's the link? You want to put it? Can you type it into the chat on here, or are you not able to do that?
I can type it into there, but I would rather I'd have to get out of Zoom and
Okay, no,
copy
go.
the link.
That's fine.
But I
Just
can
do it
send
however you can.
I'll pop it into the collaborative as soon as we're done with this call. And it's got to watch the what I send you is a 14-minute video, and and I've got a meeting. I mean, on Monday with them, but I just spoke with them last night. But I was busy till 6 o'clock, so I couldn't talk to them till then. And if I'd got to them earlier, I would already have the app and have done sent it to you guys this morning.
Okay.
Because I've got my app now, and it's there. But we have a team now that wants to get all of our messages to everyone.
Okay.
And if this is a $1 billion company, the marketing guy wound up putting this thing together, but it's basically the same thing I did with the 600 businesses here. But when he found out that I already had 600 businesses, and they were corporates, they were sole proprietors, or you know what I mean, they were smaller businesses, and he was like, he goes, man, he put me, I'm on top of all this. There's nobody in Illinois, so everything goes underneath me from this point forward here. But I can also do it in every other state. They're out of California, but they're everywhere.
Okay. All right.
But this thing's great, and you're going to love it. And when you see it, you'll be very impressed in who you're going to be partnered with that's going to be giving you money every day.
Okay, send it to us. Okay,
Oh.
Sheehan, tell us about your road travels. What you've been like this week? Okay, you're probably having problems with your mic. Melanie? Melanie, have I lost everybody?
I'm here, sorry. I'm here.
Darlene's coming in. Hang on just a second. Let me let her in here.
Sure.
She's coming on. There she is. Hey, Darlene. I think let's see. All right, so Darlene's here. So Darlene, real quick, we're going over our agenda. I think I sent it out last minute. Sorry about that. Well, my comment was we can change the agenda during the meeting with consensus from everybody. Right now, we're going through everybody's updates. Chris went through his. He's got a really cool app that he's going to send everybody for helping us to get funds for our nonprofits. And so now we're getting ready to do Melanie. Melanie, go ahead. Tell us how your week's been and what's your updates.
I don't really have any updates. Not had a great week, but it's ending well.
Okay. All right. To help with Melanie a little bit, Melanie has sent me a lot of her information from what she was doing prior to coming in to help with the Hope Project. She has a great background in finance and accounting. She's got her own accounting business that she's doing. And she has agreed to help with the Hope Institute and the Hope business model and to do some work with us on that. So welcome, Melanie. We're glad to have you. And so go ahead. I mean, not go ahead. I didn't mean to call you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Sure.
Sheehan has disconnected. I think she's going to try to reconnect in a minute, but we lost her. Darlene, how are you today? You want to unmute?
Yeah, a very busy morning. I've been transporting people from the transition houses over to the church for breakfast this morning, and this is what we call Soul Out Saturdays, the first Saturday of every month. We open up and have breakfast and food giveaway and stuff for the community. So just got back home a little while ago from doing that. We had a big camp out here last night out in the property on the intentional community we're building out here in southern Indiana. So we're moving right along. I'm like Melanie, it's like, okay, I've had a few challenges this week, but hey, hanging in there, it's all good. You know, sometimes if we didn't have the challenges, we wouldn't know what to really be appreciative of when it shows up. So it is all about teamwork, hanging in there, sharing, and keeping praying for each other, and etc. So it's moving forward really, really awesome. I got something done yesterday that I've been trying to get done for a while, and had a new guy show up and was able to fix the kitchen sink, put a new faucet in there so that I wasn't playing with that. So I've just got so many blessings that are happening. So I look forward to seeing what else is going on in everybody's world. And that's kind of all I have to say right now.
Thank you, Darlene. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us the great strides you're making in building your model there for these communities. And so anything that you add to the wisdom and the knowledge base that we have for this Hope Collaborative that we're putting together moving forward is really helpful. So thank you for coming on and sharing that with us. And let's see, Cheyenne has not come back on yet. I think she's gotten probably disconnected completely for a little bit. She's in the mountains and she has some difficulties with her connectivity. I was hoping Seth would be here. He's not here, but I know that Seth is working on his mentoring project and getting himself to where he can be a really significant part of what we're doing here moving forward. Really happy with him. He's into some, he's studying some other stuff too that's contributing value too. I think it's called the Urantha Papers. He's into that. Which is really exciting stuff. I started reading it too. I started reading Ucadia the other day, and that's a pretty interesting organization. that's got a lot of good information about what they're doing with communities. It's Ucadia. And so I've been starting to study some of that. So, all right. So my update, since I'm the last one here, Sheehan should come back on a little bit. My update is that I'm continuing to work with the nonprofit, and I have made connections. I've got a legal representative now working to help us to get funding coming in ways that will help all of us. That my main focus right now, as well as is asking you all to, and we'll cover this in the, somebody else is coming on. Hang on just a second. That's Sheehan again. Wait for her to come back on here. Hey, Sheehan, you back? Can you hear us, Sheehan?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can now. Yeah, I'm glad you're back.
I am so tired of technology issues. It just drives me nuts.
Well, when you're living out of a mobile studio there, you're going to have those kind of things. But you know, you are a warrior, and I'm going to turn it over to you here in a minute. I was doing my update, and then I'll turn it over to you.
Okay.
So yeah, so what I'm doing now is I'm really focused on continuing to bring in collaborative partners to contribute to the knowledge base for building this business, but building this model of the hope. Even on along with that, like I said, I've got legal representation now that is helping us to find the funding that will help us all get where we need to be, in my humble opinion. I'm working with. I've now got all the pieces are in place now for me to be able to start going out here and talking to philanthropists and talking to grant people and that kind of thing. The thing that I am really requiring is the group and the meat that's going to be on the bones for when these people start asking us questions. I was talking about Chris the other day in one of my discussions about the kind of people that we're going to need to be able to say we have in our group of people who are the team members who are going to be building these institutes. I was asked the other day, who's my builder? And I said, Chris. And so once we get this stuff in place, and I know, Chris, you're already out there doing it, which is a great thing. But what we need in terms of what we're getting ready to do with this hope thing is those stories are going to need to be part of what we say when we stand up. These stories and these testimonials and these actual projects that are being done are what we're going to need to be able to say when we stand up and say, this is why we need $30 million or however much it's going to be. We're still working on that amount, but there's a lot of money to be getting into without selling our souls. We don't want to sell our souls to anybody, but we also know that we need capital. Everybody needs capital. And there's so much more we can be doing if we got the capital to be able to get out here and do what we got to do. And Melanie, you and I got to have quite a bit of talk about what that means, right? So that's my update for the day. Sheehan, how's your day been? What was your week like? You road warrior, you?
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin because there's just so much that's just coming together in such fast ways and so much opportunity that I'm seeing. I know we're really close to being able to make some things happen all over the place because, you know, from being in northern Tennessee on Monday and meeting Dr. Maxwell and the fact that he's sitting on 40 acres and he's ready to do something, but he's struggling with funding issues just like everybody else. And, you know, he's got a nonprofit and he's gone to the state of Tennessee where there was supposed to be money available for him to be able to start building the villages and building out the things he's doing. I mean, he's housing women who are coming out of domestic violence. He's already doing that with a few buildings on his property. But the state of Tennessee, you know, keeps giving him stupid reasons why they're not providing funding to him. And, you know, these are the same problems that so many people have been through over and over and over again. So, but you've got him up there, and then where we are here in North Carolina right now, Rick, if you're able to come down here sometime during the next week, there's a gentleman named Nathan here he's less than 10 miles from where we're staying. He's got 30 acres. And he knows he's supposed to be doing something with it, but he's just looking at putting tiny houses on it, mobile tiny houses on trailers on it is his vision. And, you know, he's interested in hearing more about what we're doing and our vision and how we want to do things. So, and then we found out, you know, Doc led us to a piece of property in Alabama. I mean, all of these things are popping up and showing up right now. And, you know, I know there's a way to get it done. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever. But, you know, I'm glad Chris brought up, you know, using business as one funding tool, because that's what my mission is. My mission is heavily about using business as a funding tool. And, you know, I'm really kind of sick and tired of the people who can't get what we're talking about. I'm going after the ones who can, because we have to have a strong longevity team, a strong Groove Pages team, a strong Legal Shield team who are helping to fund us so we can stay on the road and be able to pay people appropriately for whatever it is they're doing. This volunteer for everything stuff has become crap because we all still need to eat. And there is no way that I'm going to continue to play that game. So, you know, bringing in the business activity, just like what Chris was describing, is huge. And a week ago, and Rick's heard a lot about this, but a week ago, I was woken up at 4 a.m. showing me how We Care Partnerships has to take a lead role in helping to create these paradise communities by whatever name they go by. I don't care whether it's Hope or Ideal or what. We have to be the umbrella that everything plugs into, because we have the training to teach people how to build the bottom-up solutions that we need in these communities. And so that's a big part of what we're launching right now, and we're going to be vetting people. We're going to vet people for, you know, the ability to, and I heard Rick in his video that he was playing at the beginning of the meeting, you know, he was talking about, you know, not religious, but spiritual. You know, we're going to vet people to find people who can embrace our spirituality and doesn't think it has to be about one religion, because in my opinion, all paths lead to God, and I don't care what religion you practice. And then, you know, we have to include finding people with emotional intelligence, people who can actually forgive and be able to speak in ways that are helpful to people, instead of making people feel like dirt or feeling like they got to get revenge and all this kind of stuff. So we're going to vet people to be our founding members of We Care, but those members are going to pay a $600 a year membership to help keep us on the road and to help pay people like Rick and other people who can bring the pieces together for the training program that we're launching. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and for whatever reason, the universe is using us as a connecting point. We keep saying we're the people who are here to bring together the super puzzle pieces and connect them all together. And if somebody doesn't see the value of what we're doing, they're not willing to help support financially in some way or another, I don't need them on my team. And that's as clear as I can get.
Good job, Sheehan, and we have been talking a lot about that the last few days. And for those of you that want to know, Rick is all in with Sheehan. You need to know that Sheehan and I are we're like peanut butter and jelly. And
Yummy.
what's that, Darlene?
I said yummy. The thing is, Cheyenne sounds like she's been around Darlene too long. She's really fired up.
Yeah, Darlene, you have a way of firing people up. Yes, you do. Hey, Seth,
Uh,
how you doing, buddy?
yeah.
Unmute, Seth.
I must say, Seth,
I'm doing all right.
yeah,
I'm
he's pretty sick.
I'm sorry that you're sick, sir, but I want to get from you real quick. What I'm going to start doing on these calls every Saturday, I'm going to start following an agenda, if that's okay with everybody, like I said earlier. I want everybody to contribute their thoughts from last week and let us know how you've been doing. So how you been doing last week?
How have I been doing this past week?
Yeah.
Actually, doing good. I mean, I've got my routine set. The work I'm doing is making the property look good. It's serving its purpose. I mean, the areas that I did still look good.
How about your work on toward being a mentor and your hope formula? How you doing with that?
I've got the video made. Me and Shan are working on setting up a day to do a Zoom meeting for her to help me load up the video. But just as soon as we was talking about it, I got slammed with this. I ain't been able to think about nothing, to tell you the truth.
Well, you take care of your health, brother, and we need to get back on and talk about your strategic development and your workbook, okay? Because the next thing I want to do with Seth and some other folks that are attending the Tuesday night call is it's time to crack open that workbook and look at the last chapter in that workbook for the strategic plan. Because inside there is the strategic plan. It has your life vision that you've been developing, what you see that as now, what your goal, what your vision, mission, and goal and objectives are for the next few weeks. You know, you got your 50,000 foot level that I talk about in the workbook, and then what the depth of that's going to be over the next few days and weeks, so that you got a plan in place for where you're going to be in a year from now, and maybe even as far as 5 years if we can see that far into the future with you.
Man, I can see everything. It's the putting it down on paper where I have a problem.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to help you with.
I can see everything you just said. I mean, all of it.
All right, let's get it down. Let's put it down so it doesn't get away from you.
I even know I even know where my place of peace resides.
Okay, you told me already. So let's put it down on paper, and so everybody knows. We did a Path of Destiny chart report for Seth a couple weeks ago. Just with that works with numbers, the numerology background. Everything's based on numbers. We did that with Seth the other day, and that helped him a little bit. There's more that can be done with that, just to let you guys know that we've been working with that a little bit. So Seth, you're making leaps and bounds, man. I really look forward to seeing where you are a year from now, man. It's going to be phenomenal.
Thank you.
All right. That's everybody. Everybody's here right now. So I want to go on to the next topic in the agenda, if you would, please, and that is this. So I sent this out the last minute, and I want to bring this up and say this. The common vision for us gathering on Saturday mornings is to develop a team, resources, and means with which to build Hope Institutes. And no one person owns the Hope Institute. I just want to clarify that. One of the things that I don't want us to get off on or worry about or concerned about is that there's one person who's going to be like me, for instance. If you're looking at me as though I'm some kind of person that's going to be trying to take ownership of what the institutes are doing, that's not true. Okay. So I want to go further to say that each person who comes into this collaborative movement that we're working on has a project and a vision, and I've said this before, of a project that will contribute to and benefit, who will contribute to and benefit from the common vision of these communities, right? So I'm going to ask each of you to think about the following questions, and then I want to go around the room, and I want to write down what we feel like our collaborative contribution can be to this thing we're putting together, because I feel like that even though we've all got in our minds what we think this should be, we do need to have a vision for what we're working toward on these Saturday calls and what our mission is. So one of the questions is, have you engaged in the model for self-sustaining communities as presented in the plan that I've given everybody in the Hope Institute? That's not a demand. That's not saying you have to do it. I'm just asking you. And then the next question is, what are your suggestions for the better model after reading and considering the model presented? And then, are you willing to share your knowledge, wisdom, and resources in the mastermind to design and build institutes? That's 3 questions there, and this is all I sent to you. I sent this to all of you in the email. The primary questions that I want you to, and so that's the foundation. And then the questions that I want to ask you this morning are, what do you have? And I learned this from the Alliances group that I'm a member of now. What do you have that is your essence or your creative? What are you willing to contribute to the Institute projects? And what can the team do to help you? So there's 3 questions there that I would really like for each of us to discuss and bring to light. And then the last thing I want us to do for these Saturday calls, so that every Saturday we're kind of focused on the same vision, is I need us to have an affirmation about what it is we're trying to do here. Because I don't want us to, it's time, and I think Shan's going to agree with me on this. I think you all agree with me on this. It's time for us to focus. We've got to get focused.
Mhm.
I'm focused on what I know we need to do with these institutes. And what I want to know is, are we all ready to get focused? I'm not asking everybody to quit their jobs and jump into this thing. I'm not asking everybody to abandon the projects they're on and try to do this one thing. What I'm saying though is, can we get focused enough in the idea that knowing that there are powers at work in creation to bring us the funding, to get the collaboration together, to build these institutes with a vision of them being all over the country, and hopefully maybe around the world? Can we come together with a common affirmation to make this thing a reality? That's the affirmation I'd like to get, either at the end of this call or by next week in our collective thoughts. We'll come back and put those words together. Any thoughts?
Well, I'll start addressing those questions. Go ahead and give me the first one. I'll address each one of them individually.
Okay, what is your essence or your value creation?
My essence or value creation is, I'm open-minded, I love to learn, and I also love to teach. I have a lot of connections, and I have a drive that doesn't
Okay.
run out of fuel.
All right, I'm writing that down, and I hope we are still recording, are we not? Yeah. Just want to make sure we're recording, so I have this on tape. Okay, so what can you contribute to building these communities?
One, I believe that we need to have, a big Hope Institute, like your design that you have came up with. But to ideally put this in perspective to where people are going to grasp it, we need to be able to work with smaller properties, even if we work
Wait a
remotely.
minute, Chris, stop, dude, stop, please stop. That's not what I'm asking you.
All right, what was it?
I'm asking you, what can you contribute to building Hope Institutes? Not your idea of what a Hope Institute looks like. Yes, we need to start with small projects. I don't think anybody disagrees with it. We've already had that discussion. I think we're all in agreement that
Okay.
places like Darlene's Place, like the ones in Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, all these little places that we're all, I think, going to start contributing to build are good. But what is it from your value creation as a human being that you know you do? What can you contribute to building institutes?
I can build the frames that need to be done. I can help line up contractors to do other parts. I can work with many different organizations that have training facilities that can bring their trainees out and do these things to keep the cost down.
That's what I'm talking about right there. You hit the target. Now, the third question is, what can we do to help you as a collaborative get there?
Okay, as a collaborative, we're all going to have to reach into every person that we meet, not that we know, the ones we meet. And we need to explain to them, of course, what we're trying to do. But the ones you know, we need to get them signed up to this shopping situation. It is the answer to sustainable funding for all of our projects and everybody else's as well, because we can sign up all nonprofits in every community. We can sign up every person that's in the community. And as you're going anywhere and spending money, this money is being tracked because these businesses, they're already partners with this. And it is free for our charities to sign up. It's going to cost each person, even though you sign up as a charity, you sign up as an individual for $25.
Okay.
Now, sell these memberships at stores everywhere. This is a membership for all stores, and you pay $25 for a year. Every month, they will send you cash back on every dollar you spend at any of these stores. And we're talking Walmart, everything. It doesn't matter. And it's in store or online. Amazon, doesn't matter. But this is a huge company that has set it up to take care of the charities that are trying to take care of the problems that are going on in the world that are struggling because of funding. And it's also a way that you yourself get back part of what you're spending, but you also give part of that back to the charities.
Okay. All right, so that's how we can help you, is by signing up to $25 thing for this. So send everybody the app. We'll take a look at it, see if we can come up with the $25 to make it happen. And we'll meet back next week and see what we did with that, okay?
Awesome.
All right, who wants to go next? Any volunteers?
I guess I will.
All right, Seth. So the first question is, what is your essence and your value creation?
My essence is I have the strongest will. God gave us one of the strongest weapons that God gave us against the enemy, against anything in the world is will, is the right to choose. And I have a strong, come to find out this past week through the Urantia Cafe, is I paid a lot of attention to how strong my will was to getting high when I was spent so many years doing drugs. I mean, like, I was a guy and I didn't sell, but I stayed high every day for 30 years. I had a strong will to get high. Now I'm transferring that will into into multiple facets. God, what I need to do here to keep organizing. Ask Darlene, my areas outside look good, and I've been sick for 3 days.
All right,
Good job.
so in terms of building these institutes, what would you bring forward to help on an institute property, either during the building of it and or during the operation of it? What would you see your role being? What would you contribute to that value?
During the operation of it, for sure, I want, and have always been, I want to help people. I want to not, I want people to not go down the road I went down. I want families to know early warning signs. There's so much that I want for the people of this earth to learn and know that can, like, the knowledge in my head can put a stop to it if people would listen to me.
Okay, so if you had a community center in the middle of this thing, so you've seen the model, you know there's a community center in the middle of all Hope Institutes, wherever it's going to be. There is a community center with a theater and a coaching center and a place for people to gather. Do you see yourself as someone who would be a coach or
Most
a
definitely.
minister or something like that?
I actually, that'd be a combination of both, because I believe it goes hand in hand. I
Okay.
think you have to be okay, there's got to be a spiritual, mental, physical balance in order for everything to be in harmony. I
Okay.
used to think it was just mental and physical, but now that I've added the spiritual to it, it's that much better. Okay, mental and physical going together is good. I'm not putting that down in any way, but you add spirituality to the equation, and it just elevates okay, when you have no negative thoughts, when you try to purge yourself of any negative feelings, of any hate, of any love, of not any love, of nothing but love. You just love everybody and everything, and and
I hear you, Bubba.
it's an amazing feeling, and I got that through Hope and through the ministry and through Urantia going to the cafes and through Darlene, and I've had my eyes opened to a life that I never thought existed. I
So,
didn't think that I could have this without getting high.
okay, so here's what I hear. So when there's a Hope Institute, or there's or wherever it is, wherever you are at, you are going to bring the omnipotent piece of the formula to bear in the people that come there and the people that we reach out to. So you would be the leader in that aspect of the Hope formula, or whatever we call it. I don't see it changing, but the Hope, the omnipotent idea, you would be one of those people who would be there. Now, what do we do to help you get there?
Man, I'm still wrestling with that myself, because I've made the video for my introduction. The reason why I waited so long to put it as my video for my website is because I wanted to wait and see how many views it was going to get online or on YouTube. And it's not really getting that many hits. You know, the The only video that's gotten a bunch of hits was a video with controversy. Can you believe that?
That's
People
the way
would
it
rather
goes.
watch
People get sick.
controversy. They would rather see why somebody got banned off Facebook than learn how to help their loved ones.
Yep.
Okay, so here's how I see. So let me help answer this question for you. I think where you are right now with Darlene, there's a lot of people that from what I've heard, I haven't talked to Darlene privately in a while, but I've been hearing things that there's a lot of people that are starting to show up in Darlene's place that could probably use some of your ministry.
I'll be glad to give it to them.
So
I would be glad to answer any question to help them with any problem they got.
So here's what we need to do, and this is what I think. This is where I think that, and I think Sheehan's helping you with this too, with the YouTube and that, is continue to build your brand, to continue to get you to continue to help publicize what it is you do. And so so get you a Groove page set up and get that kind of stuff going where you are out there. Continue to develop a strategy with the Essence Workbook. Get that set up so you can move forward. And I can see how that would be a very clear part of what we do when we stand up in front of people, when we are soliciting philanthropists. Because let me just throw this out there. I'm going to throw this out there again. We are going to find money. The business end of this thing, Sheehan and I are already in agreement on this. We know what we're going to do with the business model, the for-profit model with Triangle Solutions and We Care. We know what we're going to do with that. It's moving forward. It's going to explode. It's going to work. At the same time, we need millions now. We need to get millions in our treasury. So me and Sheehan, and hopefully everybody else on this call, is going to contribute value to developing the proposals and things that we need to get this money in here so that we can get this thing going. Now, what do I mean by that? Exactly what you're doing, Seth. At some point, I would like to see a Seth piece saying exactly what you're saying, what you've been through, where you are, why what you've got is going to be so valuable to the Hope model in helping people to come through their issues. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what we're willing to help you get through. We're going to help you get there.
Well, and just to interject a little bit here, because Seth still is not used to thinking of himself in the business capacity, but he has the ability to be every bit as much of a business coach as he is a spiritual mentor, a life coach, whatever. He's already shown that he has some great telemarketing skills. He's got an aptitude for learning the technology to be able to do marketing. And so I just want to inject that in there because Seth has the raw talent to be able to be a business coach for other people as well.
Very
so
good.
I just want to keep repeating that so he hears that until he starts to internalize that.
Yeah, and so Seth, just to wrap up your contribution right now, Marshall's coming on right now. We're going to get her involved. So Seth, go back into your workbook. Go back into your little blue workbook. I think I should send you a hard copy of this thing so that you've got a hard copy for you to play with. Do you have a hard copy? Did I send you a hard copy?
No.
Okay, you deserve a hard copy. I want you,
It'd be easier for me to ride in.
Huh?
It'd be easier for me to ride in.
I'm
I've tried going from the paper to the page with the computer.
I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna go to the post office Monday and put it in the mail.
And then I did editing. I did where I could write on the screen, and I would write the answers on the screen to the questions, and then I would go and I would think I would save it, and then I'd go open the book back up, and everything that I did was.
All right, I'm gonna send you a package. I'm gonna send you the book and the workbook. Monday morning, I'm gonna put it in the mail. It'll be there as soon as the mail can get it there. But here's the reason I'm opening this up right now to absolutely leverage what Sheehan just said to you. The value proposition, look at your life vision and develop a statement that answers. How will you contribute your value to the universe knowing now what your life vision requires? It's something called a vision mission statement. What's the product? The product is our life plan, is your life, and you describe the product. That's you. You are the product. Your market is some segment or segments of the universe, and you are delivering your value to that same universe that provided you with your essence. Just like I do every day that I do this. Listen to that statement. Your market is some segment or segments of the universe, and you are delivering your value to the same universe that provided you with your essence. So you're going to be delivering your piece of the essence to the people who you have the most knowledge of. And you know who they are. I don't even need to say it. Then how would you describe your market? And then your marketing is briefly describe how you will market your product to the universe so that your value contribution will be successful. You got it, man. So anyway, I'm going to send this to you. I'm going to get it in the mail to you Monday. And you'll have it. All right. And then, okay, Darlene, you want to speak next because you got to leave?
Well, I think you all know my essence is, bringing about paradise on earth, and my services have always been doing the will of God, which is to bring myself to the planet in whatever ways I can be of service, in creating whatever it happens to be at the moment. So I've been doing it for almost 76 years, and enjoying my adventure on this planet and seeing it make, although sometimes it kind of just goes backwards a little bit on its slide, but I see overall goodness happening. There are pockets that are sliding backwards faster than what they going forward, but somehow they'll stop that mudslide and they'll start climbing back up. So we just have to be there for them, and that's what I'm always there doing. So doing that lift up, lift out, and flying high for a lot of us. So anyway.
So let me ask you real quick. Do you see yourself as like a project management type person, someone who is overseeing the
that's basically what I've done all my life, plus being direct service. I oversee when necessary, and I'm also in the trenches when unnecessary.
So, that's an interesting question I have to ask you next. And I don't have to answer this right now. You may already have the answer, but I just want to throw this out there. So you are an amazing driver of getting things done. And so your contribution to building Hope Institutes, plural, may be something along the lines of you're a project manager. You are a director of how to get these things designed and built, maybe. Would that be a contribution you'd be willing to consider?
Yes, I don't see Hope Institute any different than I see any of the other projects that are part of the Ideal Network projects. Is they're each doing their own area and contributing to the whole. So we are all in this together. We're all energy vibrating at different frequencies, and we're all part of the whole. So as I'm lifting up, it's lifting you up. It's all waters lift up the ship. So that's I see myself helping all those who need to draw up the energy that I can offer.
Okay. And so if we were to say to you one day, Darlene, we need you in Florida to help design and build this Hope Institute, how would that set with you?
Well, right at this particular moment, I wouldn't be going, physically going. My mental energy and other things could go, but I'm past the stage of now deciding that I want to travel anymore. Been there, done that, been all around the world, and been planting seeds and cultivating them So I might have team members that can go, but I personally don't envision myself doing a whole lot of traveling anymore. I'm enjoying the time now to being where I'm at, physically planted here, because I've been around the world for most of my life, and now is my time to work specifically in this particular location.
So perhaps being a coach of others to teach them how to manage a
Yep,
project
that's
like
exactly what
yours.
I'm doing here, is bringing that model together here where people can come to the academy here, learn the skills, and then take it out to the country, out to the world, and to the universe.
Okay, so you have an academy already set up?
Oh yeah, it's been operating for many years. The Art of Living Academy's been operational for many, many years. I just put it on a hiatus for a short period of time while we were doing some other things, testing and experimenting. But I mean, it's never stopped operating. It's always been, people are still doing my courses, you know.
Okay. So what could we do to help you more publicize, or how would we bring the Art of Living Academy into the model of Hope Institute going forward?
Well, you'll be, probably the easiest way will be as I rebuild the websites and bring them back online, and the updated one with the new projects added, you know, which would be one of your projects, would be one of the, what we call tier 1 projects.
Okay.
So that'll be the easiest way, is it'll flow to you as you're needing it. You know, it's no, you know, that's the whole thing, is being able to be receptive as it goes forward. Right now, we are what we're doing with the property here in Southern Indiana is doing the recovery process here.
Right. Okay. Recovery meaning people coming in to recover?
No, it means redoing, retooling, and cleaning the property up and bringing it back to its original, you know, because the last 10 years I've neglected everything out here, taking care of other things in other states and other areas that we had seeded. And, you know, so, you know, now it's time for me to get the payback here locally where I live, you know.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so let's consider that, team. Let's take a look at the Art of Living Academy, and I think we have the website in one of our previous meetings. I think the website.
Ideal Network Projects will be the first, or idealnetwork.biz will be the first one. We will revamp and make bring that one back up. We put it on a Joomla, so I haven't found anybody right now that's a Joomla expert that lives here locally that I can sit down and work with. So I'm going to have to train somebody on the Joomla, because I like that platform. So that's where I'm at right now. And I may have somebody that's going to be able to help me. He just came back from Las Vegas, and I'm letting him get settled in now. And once he gets settled in and et cetera, we'll, you know, he'll be able to help me with that, because he's pretty sharp on that kind of stuff.
Okay, just a real quick suggestion, then we'll move on. You don't have to do anything that I'm saying. You don't have to take anything I'm suggesting. There's another platform. Sheehan may have shared it with you. I don't know, because I don't know how much you guys have been talking, but it's called Groove Funnels,
No,
Groove Digital.
been there, done there, not interested. I build from scratch with the, you know, with that. It has to be on my own domains. Grooves are not on your own domain. So, yeah, that's perfect for people that might not be a long-term whatever, but you have to go from the very beginning on you have to have a backbone. You have to have your websites, your internet, your domains hosted on a solid backbone. So that's what's happened often, is we lose our backbones on the internet. People don't know how unstable they can be sometimes. So.
If I could chime in for one quick second, I also have interns right now. They are coming on this week. They've been starting in the past 2 weeks. We've got them on projects, but I do have quite a few of them that want to do web design, and I've got a nice little group of them working on mine. It will start changing on a daily basis. Their plan is to have everyone's link and every resource in the country be able to be on a one-stop shop. So they'll be able to access every one of your programs and every other program that's going on in your communities. But I can offer their services to help with stuff that you guys might need to build up your sites. There's a lot of technology that's jumped on board here in the past 2 weeks, and I'm very excited about it all, and I know everybody else is when you see it.
Okay. Yeah, we've I mean, at least me anyway, I've been hosting my sites on Bluehost for
And
many,
see
many
that,
years.
Yeah.
And it's been very successful. It's been my backbone for quite a while. Got my own domains and everything. But I have
The only problem, and I think Chris is probably aware, he can ask his tech people if they're not daisy chaining, then they, and that's one thing is Bluehost doesn't daisy chain, and so many of them like Groove are not daisy chaining, and they're internal. In other words, they're structuring internally. They're not daisy chaining out, and that's where with Peter Mingles and our programs with the humongous host of the Humongous Ads Network is you have to be able to network with each other, because then your site feeds others people's sites, and that has to go around the entire internet, not just within a closed circuit. And this is where we're having some challenges, because so many people don't understand the global and universal use of with our satellites and all the different things. It's going to be extremely what do you say, powerful, but at the same time it can be overpowering for a lot of people. And so maybe Chris has got his internships pulling together where they understand that dynamic, because that's been our holdup, is not being able to get the local people to understand, and I'm talking about most all of them, is because it seems to become a single cell rather than the cells working together as in a human body would be. You don't have one cell, you have all of these different cells. Some have already been differentiated and some haven't. And so when you understand the dynamics, it begins to realize how powerful we all are as individual parts of the cells feeding the whole body. And people are just beginning to get that comprehension. And once we seed it in enough people's mentality that they are a part of the whole, then they'll all be doing God's will, so to speak. The Creator has a plan, and sometimes the creation tries to get outside the plan, and that creates defaults like has happened on our planet. And right now, our biggest project on the planet is to become unisolated. And that means we have to be no danger to any other planet in the universe or any other part of the universe. So this is where a lot of people can't as yet think in this universal dynamic. And this is something the brain has the ability to do, but it also has the ability to be shut off. And it's been in the shut off position for so many people. And now it's a matter of, we are those triggers that are switching the paradigm, switching on the switch, if that makes sense. Sometimes it's very hard to describe some of these things because we don't have the proper terminology or the proper words to describe something that hasn't been seen by someone. And just as when the ships arrived in the North America area, the indigenous people couldn't even see the ships because they had no paradigm for what it was. So that's kind of where we're sometimes at. So I need to go. So I hope I didn't take up too much time and I made some kind of sense.
Oh, Darlene, thank you very much for participating and coming on. And We need to look at crude funnels a little closer, I think, and figure out if that, about this daisy chain deal. Because we've bought into it, and we've got some pretty phenomenal ideas we want to carry forward with it. So we just want to make sure that we know what we're doing. Yeah, so thanks, Darlene. All right, so Marshall, how you doing?
Tired, but hanging in there.
I'm
Been
glad
very
that you're
busy
here.
doing my fundraising, trying to do what I said I was gonna do.
Yeah, and I apologize for not having communicated with you for quite a bit here. I want to give you a upfront apology for not having been communicating with you. I have been communicating with several people for Marshall. I have not communicated with you directly in a while. It's been pretty crazy
Well, I
for
mean,
me
you know
too.
what I'm bringing to the table, what I have to do to raise funds. And from the beginning, I told everyone that I plan to share funds with all those who get involved. You don't have to be directly involved on a regular, but as long as we stay in some type of touch communication, you know, I try to give everyone who I've been communicating with on the regular any updates on what's going on my end to
So
connect with anybody that can help any of us with whatever we are doing. And I'm still pushing my Keychains for Keys campaign. I've been connecting with so many different individuals and organizations across the country so that I can help them with what I have to bring to the table. And as I introduce the campaign, anyone that wants to get involved can just get involved. If not, you know, stay in touch in whatever way you would like to, because I still have to deal with this pandemic. So as long as this is happening, the only thing I can do is just keep doing my fundraising the way that I've been doing it, or meet with people who can help me organize a virtual fundraising event. I'm
all
trying
right,
to reach the well-knowns and the influencers to help with with what I'm doing
so
on
this is a
on
good
this end.
this is a good question. So the first question, I was going through the 3-question thing that was on the agenda. One is, what's your essence and your value creation? And you are a comedian and a fundraiser, right?
Right.
And 2, what is it that you bring to the development and the design and build of Hope Institutes? That's the question that we have. That's the number 2 question.
Yeah, well, like I said, I answered that before.
Right.
Only thing I can do is bring that and any other connections that I come across that I think will be helpful to your Hope Institute and anyone else here, you know.
So here's the collective. Here's what we're trying to do here. As I was saying earlier, and I don't know if you were here for that, you weren't here for the part where I started into the agenda. We meet on Saturdays to develop a team, means and resources to build these institutes. And so we're going through right now determining the level of everyone's, not so much commitment, but what they can contribute and where they can go with this. And then we want to develop an affirmation about what it is we're going to be doing every Saturday to build these institutes. Because right now we've gotten to a point where we're at a place where we are really feeling the push to make this happen. It's a groundswell of pressure from not just from us and God, but from society. We know that these things have to happen. What Darlene was saying with the small piece, Chris saying, starting with the small ones, doing projects and these small projects are like test pads, and then anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. But so third, Marshall, with your being contributing the fundraising and connections, is what can we do with the Hope brand, the Hope Institute brand, to get you what you need to fulfill your mission?
I need team members that can actually, uh, stay laser focused on organizing the fundraisers. Uh, like I said, because of the pandemic, it has to be something that can be virtual. Although more and more people are starting to meet and gather, and we're still dealing with people getting sick and dying, and people really need to take this stuff serious. But for right now, I'm just doing what's been working for me. It may not be a lot of funds that I'm able to raise at this time because I don't have a full team of people helping me organize even the virtual events. I can't, do all of this on my own because it won't be successful. So I just stay focused on next year's opportunity for doing the comedy festival. Guinness events. I've already put everything in motion, and when I raise funds, I put it toward the down payment for renting the large venues. Other than that, that's the only thing that I can truly focus on. Right now, I'm waiting to see if I'm going to have a order to make buttons for another campaign, and I may be making anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 of these items. So that's going to keep me super busy because I don't have 20 people working for me, and I would have to basically make these items with myself and maybe a few other people, and that's gonna help tremendously with raising more funds to cover costs of the major event next year, whether I do it online or a live event. But the live event is going to depend on this COVID stuff.
So
whether we're going to go into next year with it.
What if the team right here today, me, Chris, Melanie, Darlene, Seth, Steve, wanted to do a live virtual fundraising event next week, what would you need? If we wanted to do a fundraising event to raise funds for the Hope Institute, what would we need to do to enlist you to make that happen?
Well, you already know the fundraising items that I make. I don't specifically focus on anything other than what I do as far as fundraising items. Like some people sell candy, some people do. I would love to work with people who would want to do a fundraiser. Like I've been watching some of these other fundraisers, but then again, it's people who got big bucks behind them. It's all about really getting it into a top media platform to reach, the people to support your mission. I don't know what type of fundraiser you want to do.
I don't know. We're looking for any way that.
But I know Chris got something going on. He told me about the one that he's connected to.
We've heard about it.
Yeah, we've already got
Chris,
that
where's
going.
Chris?
He's sending us.
I thought Chris was on here.
Yeah, he is. He's sending us the information for that already. I'm asking you, from your fundraising and your knowledge, is there a, I mean, could you pull together a fundraiser for us?
I'm already doing one, and I'm laser focused on that. But other than
For
you
the
know,
one
what
that-
I've already offered and brought to the table. That's the only thing that I can bring to the table.
Okay, so has
The
everybody at the
other
table
type of
bought?
fundraisers that I have done in the past,
All right,
like I
okay.
did fundraising for my son's football team and basketball team, but those were live events. Those
Okay,
were
so
comedy show fundraisers.
okay, so you're laser focused on the fundraiser you're doing that I'm involved in, that I've gotten surfacely involved in by paying some money, right? And putting my ad with you. You've got my brochure on your website for the virtual events and stuff. And I think we already did one virtual event for the comedy.
And and then again, I didn't have the help that I really needed for that event to be successful. So it was like a trial run, and I've gotten proposals from quite a few companies that want to help me with that effort, but that's going to cost, $10,000. So if I'm going to hire this company to work with me for a virtual event, I got to come up with $10,000.
Maybe we can do
That's the
something
kind of
different.
questions I'm asking you, Marshall, because here's the thing, and I don't think you heard me earlier talking about what I'm trying to do right now. And when I get to the closing of the meeting, when we get down to the bottom of this agenda here, I'm going to talk about the hard effort that I'm doing right now to get funds coming in here. I'm done playing. I'm not going to waste any more time or any more effort in not getting money coming in here to get these projects done. It's time to stop talking, and it's time to start making things happen.
That's what I've been doing.
So here's my
so.
thing. Here's what I'm saying to you. You're telling me you need 10 grand to hire a company to make a successful fundraising thing happen. Is that right? Is that right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening.
If you're telling me you need $10,000 to hire a professional company to put together a successful fundraiser for the Hope Institute, then I'm going to try to get the money together through fundraising myself that we're working on in the back office right now, through other channels, to try to get money to come in here to start paying people to do the things we need to get done to build a Hope Institute. That's where I'm at now.
Okay. Well, that was one of the reasons why I got you all connected to that other group of people through alliances, to connect with people who got those big dollars that you can, connect with. Only thing that I can offer is whatever I raise from the events that I'm doing, because my laser focus is on trying to help as many people as possible get out of or avoid homelessness.
Got it.
And that's the only thing that I can bring to the table. And it's going to take the success of what I've already been working on for 10 years to help anyone else.
But you understand that is the purpose of the Hope Institute as well, is to help alleviate that homelessness situation. So what Rick's asking you is, if he could pay you to help him start building his communities, would you be interested?
Well, I can't stop what I've already put 10 years of work into.
It's
I
not
just want
about
to share the
stopping.
wealth.
Asking you if
I just
you
want to
could get
share.
paid for what you're doing right now. If he could come up with the money to get you what you need to make it happen, would that make it easier for you? And would you be in?
Well, the only thing that I focus on as far as fundraising is the items that I make. That's what I want him to, want everyone to understand. I just stay in my lane. If the only thing that I can do is connect with entertainers to do a fundraiser, I can do that. As far as
Okay.
merchandise,
Here's what I'm
I make. This is specifically what I make. I make the buttons and keychains and magnets. I just focus on what's been working for me. I don't try to do anything else.
Okay. All right, got it. Okay, thank you, Marshall. All right. Well, I'll talk to you offline, and and maybe we can talk about how we can help you get your next year event, because you were talking about this big event you want to do next year, and it's phenomenal. But we'll talk later. All right, so moving on, we got to keep going because I know people got things they want to do on a Saturday, and it's already 10:30. Melanie, you knew I was going to get to you, right? You're muted.
Yes, I'll have to go in a minute as well.
All right, so one, what is your essence and your value creation?
I keep moving forward. I have a heart for people. I want to help people. I want to build a residential entrepreneurial incubator, but not necessarily by myself. I want to help someone do it. My gift is numbers. I can help people with numbers.
Okay. So you want to repeat number one again?
I like to help people.
Yeah.
I would love to build a residential entrepreneurial incubator. That's what I'm here to do, but not by myself. It's a team, a collaborative. It's a team creation. And I'm good with numbers.
Okay. So what were you going to add to the Hope Institute design build?
I can help with the financials. Anything financial related, I can help with. Thinking through things, how to do things. I'm really good at brainstorming, and if I know what you're trying to accomplish, I can do some research and figure it out.
Okay.
I need to be in a support role.
Right. So how can we help you
How you doing, Joe?
build your residential entrepreneurial incubator?
By forming a collaborative where we can all do it. I mean, it's part of everybody's design. We all have the same vision. We just go about it differently.
Would you say the Hope Institute could do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. All right. So you already know that I want you to be able to help with the financials in the Hope Institute.
Yeah.
By bringing that forward. And I haven't asked you to do anything extraordinary like leave what you're doing and come do this. I can't even do that now. We're still in the infancy stage of what we're doing, but we're going to be there.
But you need a plan.
We've got a plan.
Well, I mean, that's always part of what it's
Here's
not
the next piece
necessarily
of it.
financials, it's more budgeting and projecting.
Well, that's in the
Yeah.
plan. And that's why I'm hoping the next part of this agenda is going to make some sense to folks, because this is where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
Have you engaged, and this is for everybody, not just Melanie, have you engaged in the model for self-sustaining communities as proposed in the Hope Institute model? Inside that model is it's the marketing, it's all the stuff that needs to be in there to build an institute, with the caveat that it is robust, that it can be revamped, that it can be tweaked and manipulated however the collaborative believes it needs to be manipulated to make this thing a reality. As I said in the beginning of this call, the Hope Institute does not belong to me.
Mm-hmm.
The Hope Institute is a collaborative of people coming together to make it happen. Having said that, however, we all know that we operate within a certain type of environment now where we have to meet certain rules and regulations in order to be able to operate in legalese, right? I was on a call yesterday with another organization that's doing something very similar to what we're proposing here out of Richmond, Virginia. And they have now got a lawyer in place who is putting together all of these legal agreements. I mean, the list last night when I was listening to these people, there were nine legal agreements that this guy was putting in place for this collaborative of people coming together to try to help young people coming out of jail.
You have to.
And so those are all the kind of things that we have to consider here about what we're going to do moving forward, because we all need to make sure that we're on the same page with the mission, and at the same time making sure that we're all having our needs met. So the Hope Institute for me, and that was the first question, is if you have not looked at the business plan for the Hope Institute, then you need to quit wasting our time. I'm just going to say it outright. I'm going to say it bluntly as I can say it, because I've put it out there. It took me a long time to build that model. It's the basis for our discussions to change it. If y'all haven't looked at it, you haven't considered it, then tell me that you're not interested in pursuing a model of a Hope Institute, because it's like Melanie just got through saying, you got to have a plan, and you got to have a budget, and you got to have the financials. It's in that plan, and you can tell me that it's completely bunk if you want to. That's fine. But I would really appreciate it if the people who want to help build this thing, here, let me put it to you this way. If Chris Collins, Darlene, Seth, Sheehan, Melanie, Marshall would like to have me write checks, or whoever the treasurer is, excuse me, not me, whoever the treasurer is of the Hope Institute, that's a public charity that is paying people to build little homes, that is paying people to teach people coming out of the Hope Institute how to do businesses and how to start their own businesses and how to do this and do that, then you got to get in and develop a plan for doing that. And so, I sometimes I come across really lecturing, like some kind of idiot trying to be a father or something. My wife gets mad at me when I talk this way sometimes, but it's not that I'm trying to be. I think you know where I'm coming from. I don't think we're all grown-ups. We got to look at the plan. So please, if you please engage that. If you haven't got it, I'll send it to you again. Look at it. Please read it. I'm revamping it to some degree because I'm trying to mold it into more of a business proposal too, that we can stand up in front of a group of people and say, this is why we need millions of dollars to do this, to support getting young people and parents and families into the institutes, to give them safety and security while they're learning how to live a life differently. And then helping them set up businesses in the residential entrepreneurial incubator, which is also something that is a brainchild of Sheehan and Melanie. That can be part of this whole model that we're putting together. That on coming out of the end of that thing, when they were dumped into the Triangle Solutions Alliance and the We Care Partnerships thing, where they're paying their memberships, where they're starting their business, where they're getting their jobs, that's part of the for-profit side of this thing. But to get there, we've got to have millions. I mean, let's just say that. So here's the affirmation. We have to, so do y'all agree with that? Does anybody disagree with what I'm saying? Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like we got a consensus on the statement there. So then the next question in the agenda is, do you have suggestions for a better model after reading and considering the model presented? And I think that we need to come back to that question maybe next week. And then, are you willing to share your knowledge, wisdom, and resources in the mastermind to design and build communities?
Rick, I can say that I'm sharing my connections, and whatever comes my way, I try to share it again with anyone that I stay in regular communications with. That's the best that I can do and what I can bring to the table. And you're right, we need millions. No matter what we're doing, we need funding for our projects, you know. And it's going to take us getting connected to those we can pitch our ideas to that can actually write the checks. Like I need funding to cover bringing people to the table to help me with what I'm doing on my end. I just want to raise the money and give it out. That's my whole idea. I just
I
want to
get that.
raise the money. Just
And I
raise
get
it
that.
in a way that I know how.
And maybe that's where you fit into the Hope Institute model.
Yeah, I mean, I
You,
basically said that from the beginning, you know.
but yeah,
But it's going to take me a while to pull off what I'm doing because of this pandemic.
but you know, and here's where I want if everybody can do this, I want the thinking to expand a little bit more. That's what I'm saying. I need us to expand our thinking a little bit more. To believe that if Marshall was the person on the Hope Institute board, if you will, or whatever you want to call it, who is the Prevent Homeless division of the Hope Institute, who has a budget of $20 million a year to prevent homelessness. There you go. So you know, so with the collective mind that we have here, the brainstorm, the power thinking entity that we have right here with these 6 people that are on this call, the proposal that I've got to put together to give to the Department of the Interior to give us money is what I need. I need a collective. And so
I've got a guy that's writing stuff for legislature so that we will be able to have material to build these projects. Figured I'd throw that in there.
So here's what I need.
Go ahead.
When I come back to you next week, I would like to receive from everybody, if I can, you know, like Chris, for instance, who are your, and I'll sign non-disclosure agreement, NDAs. We probably all ought to do that anyway.
We all need to do that anyway.
That I'm not going to go out here and take what Chris sends me and go try to do something with it because I don't really care. That's not what I'm about. I'm about getting us to where we got the money coming in so I can give Chris the money to go and build. What my job's going to be is what I'm doing right now. This is my job right now. This is my job, pulling people together to build institutes. Sheehan and I are probably going to be on the road a lot. And, you know, we want to be able to turn the money over. We want to be able to vet groups of people that are going to build these communities that we know we can trust, are going to take what we have, the model that we've built, the Hope Institute model that includes Triangle Solutions Alliance, it includes We Care, it includes the Hope formula, all combined into helping these people get on the other side of this thing and go live a happy and prosperous life. That includes stuff that Darlene can contribute. That includes stuff that Melanie can contribute. That includes Seth and what he can do. Seth may be at another institute somewhere else in charge of some part of the mentoring program at an institute. It doesn't matter what that is. What I'm saying is that that's what we've got to have. So I've got non-disclosure agreement. I'll send it out to everybody. I'll sign one right now with all of you. That I'm not going to go out here and try to use your information to go run with it somewhere else. But I want an agreement from you guys that says, hey, we believe that we can do this together. And that we're going to, and all I can do for you right now is promise you that I'm working my tail off to try to get some good funding coming in for it. But I can't do it alone.
No, and you're not, because I'm out here trying with you, but we're just on 2 separate sides of the country at the moment. But
and that doesn't even matter.
But I know, because we're able to do so much with technology today, we don't have to be face to face.
But what I'm trying to put forward though is that if I say to someone in California that I got a guy, Chris, I'm not even gonna say where you're from.
Right.
I'm gonna say that I've got a guy who has an entity who is my construction guy, who busts his ass to get these little homes built or whatever. And Chris, and not even limiting it to little tiny homes.
Right. Yeah. Don't limit it.
Because we've got to build a community center. We've got to build production facilities. There's things we've got to build on these sites. So I'm saying that I've got
to build homes as well. We need to we want to build any home that you can design, any architect that can give you a blueprint. We can build it to accommodate every family size, but even if it's down to the individual, let's give them what they need. And that's the thing. I do have an architect that is actually starting some drawings for
this
some
is
new
what I'm
stuff.
talking about, Chris. This is where maybe we got to have a business agreement. Maybe that's something we're at the stage at right now, so that we can get into to where we're feeling like we can trust each other. I mean, I don't want to. Let me just say it. Maybe it's time for us to put business agreements in place where we can trust each other, that we're not going to be trying to steal each other's ideas, trying to steal each other's contacts, trying to steal each other's business, and trying to go off and do some other things with it. Because we know that this is a cutthroat environment. We know.
Right. And I thought we were all in agreement that that was what we were doing anyway. But
we are.
That guy.
But
I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go. I have to get to another meeting. Anyone that wants to send me an agreement to sign as far as disclosure, I'm willing to do that. I think I've basically proved myself to pretty much everyone here, my focus, my direction, and I don't know. I know Richard, Cheyenne, and Chris. I've introduced them to the alliances. Hopefully, you all have told Melanie and the others who you feel it would be of value to them. That's definitely a great direction we all can take advantage of to connect with those who can basically write those type of checks that we all need. And like I said, I don't mind doing that because I'm not, sharing anyone's information. I just bring everyone to somebody that can possibly help, or a group of people that can help. Because we all need some type of assistant. We need someone who can make phone calls for us, send out information, and that's what I desperately need. Because other than that, it's just me. It's just me.
And and like I said, there's other organizations that are doing similar things to us. I'm working with another one right now out of Richmond that is leaps ahead of us in terms of where they are in their development. I don't know how successful they're going to be. We'll see. I'm going to continue to work with them and see how it goes.
Well, and let me just inject something in here too, because, the things like what Chris has suggested, the things related to the different direct sales programs I'm working with, but even more importantly, because you didn't even give me an opportunity to say what I'm bringing to the table here.
I've gotten to you.
Yeah, well, people need to leave, and it's like, okay, let's at least get all the way around the circle here before we get so far in depth. Because, I'm looking for 10 people in each state of this country to become founding members of We Care Partnerships. And that means a $600 investment. These are people that are going to be trained in how to build the problem-solving teams that are going to be the basis of helping to build things like the Hope Institute. And, $600 a year times 500 people would put $300,000 in We Care Partnerships. I can sit here at that point and be able to pay a Seth Stevens to do telemarketing for Marshall. I can help put money out there so that Marshall can hire somebody to do a big fundraising thing that will help us all. I personally think it's going to be easier to find 500 people who will spend $600 than spending tons of time writing these grants. I'm not saying that writing the grants is a bad idea. I'm just saying if you want some shorter term money and somebody who is willing to distribute money to get this project going, help me find 500 people to become We Care founding members. And I will put the money back in your pockets so that we can have some seed money to move forward. And if Rick needs to pay somebody specifically to write a grant, he'll be able to do that too. Right now, he's trying to figure it out with assistance from an attorney, but I don't know how much she actually writes the grants versus how much she's just going to give direction on how to write the grants. So that's what I want to say, because y'all know my essence. My essence is to bring health, wealth, and peace to the planet to people at all levels of society. And that's the focus I've got.
You go, girl, shoe. I apologize for getting down into the weeds with a couple.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I have to go. I'm praying that this opportunity comes my way to make this huge order, and that'll put a nice amount of money in my pocket for my button business, which you all know that I'm only doing this business to raise funds for my mission. So
Right.
that will give me opportunity to invest in what you're doing, Cheyenne, and it also may put money, enough money in my pocket to possibly hire Melanie for what she does, because I'm still needing someone to help me out, get my books straight, so that I can get a nice return on my taxes next year, especially because of all the donations that I've given out from the buttons that I've been making, and people have been making some money with them. I can't say everyone is, because you have to put the effort in to make the money with the items. And I don't know, I've probably given out probably about $3,000 or $4,000 in promotional items for nonprofit organizations and
For all of us.
individuals.
Yeah, for
So,
us. Yeah.
yeah. So, like I said, that's basically what I do. I buy the supplies, I make the items, I find people to put them in their hands and hope that they will come back as a customer. If I don't hear back from them, oh well, I've given, and it's just what I have to give. But like I
Okay.
said, if anybody needs to send me a non-disclosure, I'll be happy to sign it, send it back. Other than that, I'll just keep sharing any connections that I have that I think that may be valuable to anyone that I know, and I'll just keep pushing with my campaign to raise the funds.
Okay, Marshall, thank you.
Okay,
Ian,
it's nice seeing you, Melanie. It's great seeing you, and talk to you all soon.
thank you, Marshall.
All
We love you.
right. Love you. Take care.
Love you
All
all
right,
too.
going back to Sheehan for a minute, because I feel like that we need to explore what she's talking about a little bit more between us. So, wealth, health, peace, that's her essence. The contribution she's making to the Hope Institute, I think, is pretty obvious. She's devoting more time to helping to promote the message than most anybody I've seen. So here's the thing: when she's talking about this founders for the We Care, $500, $600 a year. So let me ask this: I want to ask a fundamental question about some other things about Sheehan first. How many of you are members of Triangle Solutions Alliance right now? You don't have to raise your hand. You don't have to tell me. I'm going to put this out here, because this is where Sheehan is so vital to what we do as a for-profit entity in a socio-economic business that she is. Community development business. What do you call it, Sheehan?
Well, it's a community and economic development corporation. And just to be clear, I haven't been taking in memberships as Triangle Solutions Alliance for about a decade now, although I very well may go back to doing that. But it's the We Care Partnerships membership that I'm focused on, because that's where I want to hit all 50 states and find people who understand the need to create these self-sustaining communities of small business owners that will actually get involved in creating the bottom-up solutions that we all need right now. Because we got to take our attentions off the stupid politicians and put them onto people who actually know how to create solutions. And they exist. And most of them are in the small business community. Maybe not all, but a good chunk of them are. And
Have
those
you
are the
guys-
folks I'm looking for.
Everybody should look at the We Care Partnerships website to get an idea of what Sheehan's looking at. If you haven't done it, you should probably go over there and take a look at it. I have been studying it in depth the last few days because I'm going to get more and more involved with her end of it as she's getting more and more involved in my end of it, because we're really getting tight about this thing. So I am a member. I am a member of her organization. I pay my membership dues. I am a longevity person. I'm actually listed as not a distributor. Well, I'm at some point in it.
You're a preferred customer right now. Your distributorship expired.
Oh, it did? Oh, well,
Yep,
I paid
but-
$500 at some point to be a distributor.
Yep.
Got a package. I
Yep.
take the supplements. I drink the water. Not as devoted as I should be to that, but I should be better, but I am a member. I'm not a member of Legal Shield. I used to be. I used to be actually be a person that was selling Legal Shield. It's a really good product.
Yep.
And I did the other thing, and I'm in GrooveFunnels. I'm not a marketer. I suck at it. I have not sold anybody the package for GrooveFunnels, but GrooveFunnels is a phenomenal tool for people that are into marketing, that are into online marketing and want to run their business.
Yep.
So my point is this. We've got a phenomenal partner here in Sheehan Creamer. And I also feel like that we've got a phenomenal thing going with the Hope Institute model and the people that want to get involved. Arlene and Chris, Melanie. So the affirmation that I want to talk about as we wrap this thing up for the day, because it's getting really late. We've been on here for 2 hours now. I want us to develop an affirmation. I think we all know about the law of attraction and how that works, and how God has given us these tools to be able to make things happen. I want us to develop an affirmation about the Hope Institute and about what that means to each of you. And I'm not going to ask you to do it this week. I want us to come back next week with some words that you want to contribute to an affirmation statement that we're going to start saying and believing in every Saturday. You know, I sat on a video the other day. I did a late night call when I was supposed to do a training last Tuesday. Everybody decided to take the night off. And instead of doing the workshop, I did an affirmation statement on Facebook Live for about an hour, where I repeated one affirmation statement, and I asked everybody else to join in and use the same affirmation statement. That I am an honest human being with omnipotence in my belief of my responsibility and accountability for the actions, decisions that I make, to embrace all with pure love in my heart, and therefore live my essence of humanity. So that was my affirmation statement I made that day. Anyway, to wrap this thing up, please consider an affirmation statement that we can use together to help get this thing moving forward through the law of attraction and making this thing come to fruition. I want you to know that I am diligently working right now with a legal advisor to develop grant proposals and philanthropy proposals to get money coming in here for all of us to make this happen. Meantime, let's help Sheehan with the founder thing. I will be a founder. I'll find the $600.
Well, you've already paid 150, so you'd only need another 450 somewhere.
So I'm going to be a founder. Well, I've got to be vetted first.
You are.
And I know that it's hard for people to come up with that kind of change, but at the same time, understand that when you become a founder of this movement, that there's some things that are going on as well that are part of a governance thing for these communities that you will be a part of developing and putting in place for your state that are going to be pretty phenomenal too, that we know we've got to change the way that our structure is in our governance. And these communities are going to have a governing system in place of some kind. You can't just go in there with an institute that's going to have 200 people in and out of it every year. That's the goal anyway, 200 people, and a community around it without some kind of governance in place to help keep things kind of on keel, right? So we've got to come up with that governance model, and we've already got a good idea what that governance model might look like.
We do.
And so if you want to be involved in your state with that, it's $600. And then you can bring in other people to be part of that too. So I'm just saying that we've got a lot to do. And so anyway, anybody want to make any closing statements?
Well, my affirmation for this group is pretty much the same that I've been talking about for a long time, in that I affirm that we are attracting the right people and the right resources with the right heart and mind connected together that allows us to build communities that bring optimal health, optimal wealth, and optimal peace to people from all levels of society. That's my vision, and I believe it is something that fits for every person who has been on this call.
I like it.
Housing our people everywhere.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
Okay, everybody.
Giving me a vision of a church.
Melanie, you got anything you want to close with?
And it's knowledgeable, intelligent, noble gods during our mission, helping our people evolve.
Love it. Check this out.
Who's that? Who said that?
I like that one. I like that one.
You like acronyms.
Yep.
Who is that?
Who's there?
Chris.
That's not Chris.
Who is that?
Chris.
Oh, hang on. Talking to me.
Who are you talking to in the background? He just muted himself.
I am
Yeah, he's talking to somebody.
And he's a minister, and he just said that he had a calling to open a church, and I'm going to have him say what the name of it is.
Kingdom Hope. Acronyms. Knowledgeable, intelligent, new gods during our mission, helping our people evolve.
Woo!
Wow.
Wow.
Did he say new gods?
He did. Ding, ding,
Did I
ding.
hear that come out of a minister's mouth? New gods?
Yes.
Plural?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Ask that minister if he wants to become a member of our little group here.
Psalm 80.
Woo.
Yeah, I just met him. I'm actually washing some clothes, and I started talking to him, and I didn't realize I had my microphone on, so you guys were hearing me.
Wow. But look at you attracting people who think like we do. That's awesome.
I don't go anywhere without crossing paths with people. That's why I open my mouth, and that's why I tell everybody.
Chris, you seem to have a problem opening your mouth, brother.
I do. Well, I don't have a problem opening it. I have a problem shutting it.
All right, well, listen, ask that minister if he would not mind giving you his name and stuff and put it in the chat.
Yeah, man, that would be awesome.
I want to add him to our mailing list.
Absolutely. Get his email address.
Melanie. sorry to interrupt you. Did you have something you'd like to close with?
I put it in the chat box.
Okay.
Well, and Melanie, do know this, that the attorney we're working with up in the DC area, she's already explained how Rick and I can put together an operating agreement that creates a unified front between his organization and mine. And so we're trying to bring these together as the stakeholder that we can start to replicate in different places.
Yeah. We should have said that earlier. Yeah.
Email.
Sounds good.
We're going to have that in place pretty soon. I got the information from Ovita, and
Awesome.
I'll be sharing that with Charlotte or Cheyenne this weekend, and I'm off next week. I'm by my goal for the end of next week is to have a whole lot of stuff completed and in place. So
Cool.
this lady we're working with has some serious connections, and so
Well, and do know this, somewhere on one of my computers, and I'm going to go look for it today, I believe I have something called a mutual memo of understanding or a mutual NDA that allows you to be able to take one document, plug everybody's name into it, and make it a mutual agreement amongst a group.
yeah, that's we got. There's a mutual NDA, not non-disclosure agreement, where you agree not to harm each other. But there's also, I think there's an operating agreement that can have more than one entity involved.
Yeah.
So Melanie,
All right.
are you finished with your statement? I think she is. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any last things they want to say before we wrap up? Okay. Y'all have a great week. Well, happy Labor Day. Celebrate your labors.
I'm tired of the labor. I want the birth.
There you go. It's coming. I think I believe it's coming on both ends, both the non and the profit.
Well, there you go. And make sure, Rick, that you copy the copy the chat, because I can't do it on my phone.
I'm saving it right now.
Okay, good deal.
Love you guys. Have a good weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye, Seth. Love you, brother.
Yeah.